to a whole nother lane tonight on Branded After Dark, and I want to welcome the entire universe. Yes, I said it. The entire universe is live and direct here tonight because of the guests we have tonight, and also the topics we have and the music that we're playing and the memories that actually takes place when you hear certain songs like this one that we just played from our guests. So tonight's a very special night because I get a chance to thank this guy for the ton of music memories that he gave me, and you know, we're going to catch up with this guy and see what he's up to now and all things. And before I actually put a mic and say hello to him, let me say hello to my beautiful co-host, Sweet Aaron, who is on live and direct on Branded After Dark. Sweetheart, what's up?
Nothing much. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter to the world, of course. Of course. You know, Sunday blessings extended out through everywhere. And like I said, as I introduce this guy, I am privileged, honored, grateful, blessed, everything positive that's out here tonight. I wanna welcome Mr. Alexander O'Neal to Branded After Dark. Hello, sir.
How you guys doing out there, man?
Welcome. How are you?
Happy Easter. I'm great, man. Happy Easter to everybody. Yeah, it's a great day.
Now, before I start asking all kinds of questions that I'm pretty sure your fan base want to know, like I said, I want to thank you because you heard the song All True Man. That was kind of like the anthem for us guys trying to get to know the ladies back in the day. And still to this day, you were like a nice buffer when it came to us guys trying to express ourselves to the ladies. So I don't know if a lot of people told you that, but thank you, sir.
Hey, no problem. You know something? I want to say one thing. When I did the song All True Man, and All True Man is the type of man that I aspire to be, okay? Mm-hmm. And I'm still working on it, I mean, that's not something that you can just throw around a statement like that lightly, So, I mean, it comes a lot of work, and I'm still working on trying to be an all true man.
Take notes, fellas. Take notes.
There you go. There you go. And I appreciate just, a lot of people, and one of the reasons why I wanted to reach out to you and get a chance to let you, have your words to your fans and even to us is because, a lot of times, so many people don't, just say thank you for the music accomplishments that, you've had throughout your career and the music that we still listen to this day. So, I feel, having an iconic status in music the way you have, it helps inspire people like myself and Aaron and all the people out here listening because, I mean, there was a lot of hard work you put into, making those songs hits, right?
Well, definitely that, But one thing I want to say, though, when you're working with great producers like Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, I never heard a Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis song that I didn't like,
Right.
And one of the great things of having those guys as friends, they knew who Alexander O'Neal was, and they wrote songs explicitly for me, So that was a great thing, Everything we did was like, okay, this sounds like Alex. Okay, let's do this, And it was just great. And we just had so much fun, building the career. It's been almost 30 years now. And now, from the younger generation, every time I come into a room with them, they tell me that a legend's in the house. A legend's in the house.
Right.
A legend's in the house.
That's
and
right.
I start looking around and go, where is he? Where is he? I go, where is he? Where's the legend? And then they go, it's you. I go, oh, okay. But it's really it's been a great ride. My fans have been wonderful. I've had the big hiatus in England, in London. I lived there for 14 years, and kind of one thing about America, America, you're only as big as your last hit record, And
that's true.
For my genre and for my generation of music, now the torch has been passed. It's like people kick the doors in for us to make success, and we kick doors in for the younger generation that's making all this money now. That's the only thing that we didn't, It was when we were doing this in the industry, we were only allowed to go so far, and especially if you had shall I say, a bad boy reputation, some that precedes me, like I kind of had. They were like, yeah, we love Alex, he's talented, but we're scared of him. We're afraid to give him, we're afraid. Let me tell you, I've had a lot of money, I've had a little money, I've had no money at the same time of being a star. It's the character of a person that keeps you going. It's not, a lot of times people say, you're a star, and they say, are you rich? And little kids especially go like, are you rich? They go like, no, I'm very famous though. And it's a big difference between fame and fortune, okay?
Right.
And so when we was coming up during our times in the 80s and early 90s, basically, we had a great time and a lot of fun doing what we was doing. And at the same time, the industry would only allow us to go actually so far, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And now, because of the internet access and all of the younger generation now and the way that they do it, the industry has to kind of come to them, opposed to them coming to the industry. And that's a good thing and a bad thing at the same time because, it's a big difference when you make yourself a star. Like a lot of guys, a lot of people come up to me with their CDs and stuff, and it's all wrapped in cellophane and everything and looks like it's ready to go. But they did that. It wasn't a record company. It was like the NFL, There's only one NFL on this planet. There's only, when somebody comes to get an unknown person through another person because of your talent, that's a God thing. That's a gift from God,
Right.
And it's like we can't make ourselves stars and stuff. Like the industry, when you sign a national record deal with a Sony or Universal or one of those type of big companies and stuff, that's a big statement about the individual,
Right.
And when you start making yourself the star, opposed to having someone else saying, hey, you're good enough to play in the big leagues, So it's a great thing. Who am I to put anybody down for them doing better in their lives? And at the same time, you got to say we're kind of losing a little something because it's a great thing when a guy goes from nothing and all of a sudden you have a record deal. Okay.
Right. And
you can imagine the feeling of what that feels like.
And the feeling used to be, the vibe, the excitement of being on a record label, the excitement of hearing your music played on the radio at one point in time. And you mentioned, just the overseas love that you get. And Alexander O'Neill is our guest on Branded After Dark. And, you got a lot of fans in Japan, too, and Germany and so many different places in the UK. Like, I mean, once you started feeling that overseas love, it kind of got surreal to a point, right?
Well, I tell you, one of the great things about my love affair with the UK, my management's out of the UK, my agent's out of the UK, and it gave me the opportunity to perform all over the world. And that's what I wanted to create. I lived in London for the last 14 years. I've only been back in the States for about a year and a half now. And it gave me the opportunity to play all over the world. And that's what I wanted to achieve. I figured out that, okay, so America's going to play us, right? They're gonna play us, and you're only as big as your last hit record, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. So you got to get in where you fit in. So fortunately enough for me, I had the love affair with my UK fans, with the 6 sellout dates at Wembley Arena. That's still standing. There's no R&B artist that has ever done that before.
That's right.
And so we have a lot of love, and it's so amazing, because British people, they were in the R&B long before American white people were in the R&B, okay, because R&B only became popular in America because of the record sales. It was too vast. It was too much. So therefore, when NWA came out with, when they came out with their first album, they sold like 100,000 units underground. Then all of a sudden the record industry said, no, we're not going to allow these guys to have that type of control. So we'll give a few of them a whole lot of money and keep the rest of them down, okay? So, I figured that out, and I said, okay, well, you guys want to play it like that? Well, guess what? I got love all over the world, and I want to build a worldwide base. I don't want to just be a star and superstar among my own people and a star in America. I want to be a superstar all over the world where I go all over the world. And it's a really great and a blessing to be able to live somewhere and not to depend on where you live for for your livelihood. That's a really great thing. It's a great thing from God.
That's right.
Right. Well, you've given us timeless music, and that's something that is very, very, very rare to come by these days. And I want to thank you for that.
Well, I thank you guys. I thank all my fans out there for loving me and giving me the love. You know, it's so amazing to me. These are some things that, you know, that really attract my attention in the industry, is that there are some vacant thrones out there for kings. And okay, so here's a scenario. Marvin Gaye, Otis Redding, we're going all the way back. Now we come up to current. Luther Vandross, you know. I mean, it's like, what person of that genre is going to be able, what record company is going to actually give you that and go and give you the support that you need so you can take over that genre? You know, I used to describe Luther, which was a very good friend of mine, as a black Pavarotti. Okay? To me, that's what he was to me. He was like class, all class, and if I was to describe him, it would be like Pavarotti. You know, Pavarotti's an opera singer. Luther Vandross is a soul singer. But he has the same type of appeal. And so, you know, it was wonderful. And I never forget that Luther called me one time. He played in London, and he called me and said, "Alex, you know what? I just want to tell you, man, you're the king of London. You're the king of England." You know? And I'm like, hey, well, it's good to be the king of something, because you're the king of America, and you got it going on, you know, like that. And I give people a lot of love and a lot of respect, but there's a lot of room at the top. It's the bottom that's so crowded.
It's amazing how you kind of talk about Luther, you talk about Marvin Gaye. You might as well put yourself in that category as well. Your voice is distinctive. Everybody knows. You know, it's kind of what Aaron said earlier and what I said earlier as well about when you have timeless music, you can never go wrong. When people still is reaching for, you know, the All True Mans and the Saturday joints and the Saturday Love, of course, and my all-time favorite, you know, and it kind of gets me to, and it gets to that point where it's sentimental. I'm telling you now, Mr. Alexander O'Neal, that song will still jar some emotional strings in my heart that still to this day, when I hear it, I feel a funny way, you know, and you put that out there with just a lot of storytelling with the music. So of course, you know, we have to set that level of respect and appreciate, you know, for you painting that picture for the fan base.
Absolutely.
You know, it's so ironic. Go on, sweetie.
Oh, I was just gonna say, you to this day, you cannot put fake in and expect me to sit still. Like, for real. That's my jam.
That's lovely. Thank you. You know,
Please do not expect me to sit still. It is not happening.
Well, you know, when I started out my career, I decided that I didn't want to be a balladeer, because, you know, it's very hard to break out of that slate. Once your fans put you in the category of a balladeer and you try to do something different, they say, go back to doing what you used to do, you know, what we know you for. But I'm a funkster. See, I'm as hard as I am soft. So we came out with that Minneapolis thing, hitting them hard, but then, you know, through a blessing, through God, you know, I always knew I had the ability to sing great ballads, and I never try to put a tag on myself and say, I'm this kind of guy, this, that, and the other. But if my fans decided that this is the way they perceive me, if the women decided that they love me because I sing love songs, but if the guys, I got just as, you know what's so gratifying to me in the music industry, my male fan base in America and all over the world is absolutely tremendous, phenomenal. And that's that was so important to me when I started my career, to make sure, because I can't stand guys who go out and just sing the women. They get on stage and you have a hit ballad, and all of a sudden you can't do anything but sing the women, and you got to get on the floor, grind the floor, you got to do all this other stuff. You know, I say things that men want to say. Okay, that men, they go like, go on, Alex, tell them, Alex, say it, Alex, you know, and I get that kind of thing. But I don't, you know, I don't get full of myself because of it. You know, it's just the way it happened. Like I say once again, great producers, great. We live in Minneapolis, St. Paul, which we have a great wealth of great musicians, great producers, great songwriters. I was very fortunate to be a part of the Flight Time family. This is wonderful.
And you see, Mr. O'Neal, like, you know, when you say about your male fan base, you know, one guy here, and I said it early, like, you were my relationship buffer. You helped nurture my relationship, and you didn't even know he was a music therapist in my life at one point in time, and still to this point. So hey,
don't give me,
you know what?
I'm a music therapist. Next thing you know, I won't be doing music anymore. I'll be trying to get a job as a music therapist.
Hey, God. I mean, you know, and I'm pretty sure, Alexander, you heard it too. Like, you know, you know what? You didn't help make a lot of babies in this world too. So
I get that all the time. They go like, you know, I was in London just the other week, and a guy, this white guy, is walking down the street, and he says, "You owe me money." And I went like, "Oh boy, I owe you money." He said, "Yeah, I made two babies to you if you were here tonight, right?" And I owe him child support. And I'm like, as long as they're not telling me they're my babies, I'm cool with it.
You know, it really speaks volumes that, you know, you are somebody that has the ladies and the gentlemen, you know, as a whole. Because you're right, there are singers that, you know, only cater to women, and, you know, the guys are like whatever, you know.
Right.
It really speaks volumes that you were able to do that, and you know, it shows a lot of character and, you know, talent to be able to do that.
Well, I think that some of the people that are my mentors, like Otis Redding, originally I'm from Mississippi. I'm just a country boy, right? I don't know nothing about y'all fancy city living. But Otis Redding was a southern country boy, and I kind of gravitated to Otis, right? I mean, Otis and Marvin and Donny Hathaway were my people. Okay, don't even go there. So,
right.
But Otis was a crossover artist before the word crossover was even popular. Okay,
right.
I mean, he was doing phenomenal things, man. You know, and it was like, I saw how the men. I mean, we just loved Otis. You know, Otis would say what we want to say. You know, and the next thing you know, he would sing the wonderful ballads, and if you choose to get into that's your choice. You know, but I had a bunch of great mentors, and like I say once again, you know, people kick the doors open for us. We kick the doors open for other people, and that's why you have the Chris Browns of the world, and you have the Rihanna's and Beyonce's and all the rest of them, because Sherelle, if they would have gave her, if the industry could have gave her what they would even remotely give Beyonce, you know, we would all be happy and on a whole nother page. But you know, one thing that's so good is that passing the torch, and that's a great thing, being able to watch these guys grow and I do applaud the younger generation for one thing. They changed music in America, period. Okay?
Right.
You know, at one time it used to be where pop music was the thing. It used to be rock music was the thing. You know, they had certain things, and they would have certain definitions for certain kinds of music. But these kids came in, man, and kicked the door completely off the hinges, changes, made little white kids in the suburbs, you hear them bouncing. I live in the suburbs, and I hear them bouncing and riding in 1960, 1972 Cutlasses, and, you know, just like the brothers, the whole thing. So they changed the whole thing and made it acceptable. And that's a feat that nobody can take away from them. And hopefully that I would like for this generation that's having all this success with their music and stuff to be a bit more responsible.
Absolutely.
In reference to the younger kids that are coming up and watching them, to be responsible, you know, because everybody, you got to find out, you know, God gives to who he pleases to give to. And he gave everybody something, so you got to find out what he gave you. So you can, you know, so you can go on and go for yours. Because everybody's not meant to be a singer. Everybody's not meant to be a rapper. And if God's going to bless us like that, then at least be responsible for the younger black generation which I'm very much concerned about because, you know, you wonder why little 13-year-old girls get themselves in problems and why 13-year-old girls are dressing like they're 19 and going out there and the guys are, the kids, you know, it's a rough thing. But now, once again, our generation of parent, me, because I'm in my late 50s, our generation of parents, we want to be friends with our kids. So we got to fix that, okay?
Right.
That's the problem, is that when you got a 14-year-old kid, a 13-year-old kid, and he dropped out of school, you go to work, but him and his friends can hang out at your house all day long, kicking it like that. Something is totally wrong with this picture. You know, we just don't have the respect that we used to have, and I think that it's up for the people who can be this type of example and have this type of focus should have a little more responsibility. To whom much is given, much is expected. So that's all I got to say about that.
Hey, Alexander O'Neal is not only a iconic singer, he's also a buffer in relationships, a therapist, he's a preacher. Alexander O'Neal he does it all.
Oh,
like.
God.
Extraordinaire.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't put me in the pulpit yet. But
Alexander
really
O'Neal is our
talking
guest
to you
on
guys,
Branded After Dark. A couple of questions before we let you go, and you know, a lot of your fan base would love to know what's in store for you, music-wise, and everything else.
Right now, I'm currently working on a brand new album. See, you know, you can go to Amazon. You can get. I've done a couple of albums that people don't even know about. I did them in Europe, and so currently working on a brand new album, an R&B album, and I'm also doing a big band album. But the way we're doing the big band album is that I'm going to be singing songs like Frank Sinatra, Tony Bennett, Nat King Cole, all that stuff there. But it's going to be, the music is going to be the same music as it was with their song,
right?
But it's going to be funky. It's going to be soulful, and I'm going to be singing it straight across the board. And then the music is going to be funky. So this is something that has never been done before. And, you know, right now I just keep working, trying to take care of my family like everybody else does.
Absolutely.
And try to keep praying and keep my head up and keep going. And that's what I do. You know, I don't think that no one, I don't care how much success you have or you haven't had, you know, no one is better than anybody else. I don't care how much success you've had, because I always kind of keep it kind of simple, and I think that's one of the things that has helped me tremendously in my 30 years in the industry, is being able to keep it simple and keep it down. That is how many dinners can you eat within the course of a day? How many TVs can you watch? How many cars can you drive? How many pair of pants can you put on, or skirts or dresses, whatever we're talking about?
Absolutely right.
And with those things in mind, if you keep the simplicity in your life, you won't be overwhelmed by success. You know, it'll be something that you can be able to manage and to move forward and kind of use it. Like I say, once again, the all-two-man thing is something that I aspire to be. So I'm still working with my God, trying to be the best guy I can be. That's all.
Hey, and I think in a process of, go ahead, honey.
Oh, I was just going to ask, this might be a silly question, but I just want to know, what was when you first, like, hit it big and had all the money in your pocket, what was the first big thing that you purchased, your first big purchase that meant the most to you?
That's a very simple question. Buying my mother a home. A nice home in Mississippi. You know, it's something that most athletes, most singers, most people, and most unselfish people, you have people who don't take care of their family and do things. I gravitated, my family is very important to me, and my mother is very important to me. So the first thing I did was buy her this lovely, lovely home. Like I said, I might not have a house, but we definitely got a home in Mississippi, you know.
That's
right.
And it's got grounds, and it's got land, and it's got beauty, and it's everything else. And that's one of the most proud achievements in my whole life.
Aww,
Amen to that. And a lot of people should look to aspire to be able to have a work ethic and just work hard music wise to be able to continue to build on the legacy like Mr. O'Neal has. And as I get ready to let you go, I gotta not just thank you once again, but I'm gonna continue to support your music and everything that you do. So when you do get some new music to run, can we please break it first here on Branded After Dark? I would love it.
Look here, man. Okay, word. You got my word on that. Okay, I'm there. Okay, I'm already there.
That's what we want to hear. That's what we love to hear.
And I'm hoping to be coming to Cali pretty soon. So, we're working on some things for the community out there in you guys' area. And hopefully you'll be seeing Alexander O'Neal in that area. I just want to thank you guys once again for giving me this opportunity tonight to speak to my fans, got to let them know what's going on with Alex. And I know you guys are like 10 times younger than me because I can feel that. I hear in your voices.
Hey, you know what? Mr. O'Neal, we're just young at heart. We're young at heart, man.
I think you guys are beautiful, man, and you're doing a great job. And just keep up the good work, okay?
Hey, and you know what? Thank you for inspiring us, because between Aaron and myself and the staff here and everything that we try to accomplish, we always have kept your music in mind when we do what we do. And trust me, you may not have known us until this point in time right now, but a lot of what we've done throughout our lifetime has been inspired by the music that you gave us. So, our thanks to you for doing what you do.
Thank you guys so much.
I want to say that you are truly a beautiful soul, and that's one thing that is not fake, okay?
Right.
You're really, and it was a pleasure. It was an ultimate pleasure talking to you and having dialogue with you tonight. And thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you guys so much, and God bless, okay?
Same to you. That is.
Nexxlegacy.